Okay, so it seems like Bao has found herself in even more controversy. So obviously, if you don't know, we've been covering the Bao situation recently with one of her tweets essentially talking about male content creators, bigger male content creators, and telling female content creators to run away and things like that, right? We've covered all of that. There's been very controversial. Many people were mad. Many people were happy. It's such a big mess. It's kind of crazy. But in this situation, we're now talking about something else where she's managed to cause even more drama in this space with one of the tweets that she put out about artists. Now, yeah, this is completely separate from the situation that we have been talking about, but obviously it does kind of continue the string of controversy that she's been causing on Twitter lately. And this was the tweet. Now, I can't actually find the original tweet. I'm unsure if she's deleted it or not. I don't want to say 100% that she did, but when looking on her page, I can't find it. So I'm going to assume it's deleted, but again, it might not be. It might just be somewhere hidden. But essentially, yeah, it says here, artists, please ask permission before publicly posting finished commissions. I know you're really excited about finishing a really cool com, but you might accidentally spoil a client's project. So many commissions I just gave up doing anything because it was posted before I could do anything with them. And obviously, yeah, that is the post that she put out, and it was pretty controversial with some people. Now, obviously, I don't commission much art at all. I think I commissioned like 2 things once, and one of them is my profile picture right now. And obviously, yeah, I'm not unsure on the etiquette in terms of kind of artists and things, but a lot of people have been angry about this, saying, you know, I hate Bao for this tweet. Thank God Skeb decided to speak out, because it seems like Skeb have actually responded kind of to this. And obviously, Skeb, if you don't know, is obviously a commission kind of site where people can, yeah, get art and things. And this is what they put out. Warning, all rights to works on Skeb belongs to creators. Clients cannot restrict creators from publishing their work for any reason. This notice is shown at 4 times before sending their first request, and they cannot proceed unless they check the box agreeing to it. Now, yeah, this is what Skeb had to say to this, which again, obviously it does warn the person who is commissioning this, hey, you know, they are allowed to post this kind of stuff. Like, it's their art, they're allowed to do whatever they want with it, you know, even while they're working on the commission, right? And you have to sign, or not sign, tick multiple kind of boxes agreeing to that, you know, fact, right? And obviously, yeah, Bao is here complaining about it when it is something that you agree to. Now, she hasn't specifically said Skeb on here. I'm unsure if she mentioned Skeb further down in the replies or anything, obviously because I can't find the post. But again, maybe she's referring to maybe some other artists, maybe on Twitter or another platform, right? But at the same time, I think in Skeb in particular, obviously, yeah, they make the point of that it's very clear that, you know, these artists can do what they want with their own work, right? And here is the kind of screenshots of it with the tick boxes saying it's prohibited to contract creators on any method, including external tools. Mention URL on description of your request if you have a reference material. It is prohibited to send with any external tools. It is prohibited to specify delivery deadlines, and the copyright of the work belongs to the creator. It is prohibited to specify or restrict the publication of the work. So yeah, that's something you agree to. Obviously, you say, please do not restrict creators' activities in any way exceeding the rules stipulated. Again, another rule set here saying you cannot specify the range of publication of works and specify the delivery period. As a deadline of the request, it is also a violation of the terms for the client to specify publication date and time. And says creators can freely publish on social networks and fanzines without permission from clients. So yeah, they say, they go on in this thread saying Skeb is fundamentally different from a Western art commission platform. It's a creator support platform rooted in Japanese sukebu culture, where artists draw illustrations on the spot at Dojinshi convention. Skeb is not a stock material marketplace. Over 30% of users are now from overseas, and we sincerely thank everyone abroad who understands our terms and policies carefully and supports creators. Important. Only we may issue warnings or impose penalties for violations of our terms and policies. When misinformation spreads, we will contact the parties involved directly. Vigilante actions or attacks are strictly prohibited. Thank you for understanding. So yeah, obviously that is exactly what Skeb had to say about that, and I think that is very fair. You know, if this is what you know, Bao is talking about, all of the kind of stuff on Skeb, they make it very, very clear in their rules that, hey, you know, they have the permission to do whatever they want with their own artwork, right? And you cannot decide that. And you agree to that whenever you sign up to the commission, whenever you do the commission, which is completely fair. And obviously, as I said, you sign off on it, literally. Saying, tweet so embarrassing, Skeb themselves had to address it indirectly. I'm crying. And again, you know, I can't find the tweet anymore, the original one that Bao put out. So again, I don't know if it's still around, but yeah, she keeps on making it like look worse for herself, right? And I don't know what has been going on recently, but she's had a pretty poor form of kind of posts. Also, I just kind of want to add into the video here, Bao essentially replied to a lot of these stuff going on with Skeb, essentially saying that my original tweet was not about Skeb. It was my general experience with commissioned art. They said, my opinion of Skeb was an afterthought. I get why people are thinking the former. I haven't used Skeb for almost a year. My tweet went away out of my circle and understandably led to a lot of people to think that I was saying to be 100% about Skeb, which I do think is very interesting, obviously due to the fact of like it's Twitter. Like you gotta expect that almost every single post will go outside of your little circle, right? Because again, that is how Twitter works. Sometimes the algorithm picks up some random things, especially considering a lot of the kind of you know, backlash that she's been getting over other topics, right? So I think it was pretty you know, if you don't want this to be public, then I'll probably put it somewhere else rather than your Twitter, because again, it always has that chance to go yeah, out of your circle. And yeah, they said it wasn't. The reason why I said I dislike Skeb was due to the option of keeping the commission private on the artist Skeb profile. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I just don't want my NSFW commissions connected to my Skeb profile. If it's posted on their Twitter with no connection to me, that is fine. WIPs, streams, all of it is fine. As for general commissions, aka what my tweet was originally about, commissions not via any website. If you took the time to see my replies, it was 100% in support of artists, and I continually wished for ways to better serve the purpose of the commission, such as paying for an NDA fee, extra cost to keep a commission hidden, etc. I understand why this confused artists, but even in my replies, I did not spread misinformation about Skeb. I am aware of how the site works, albeit through a lot of trial and error, but that is the common experience, and I'm allowed to say it isn't my preference. Obviously as well, they put down here saying, I'm very sorry for the stir it caused. What is not my cup of tea can still be yours, but I should be more aware of my influence, and that's no excuse. No matter my issues, art is meant to be human, and I'd rather deal with a few hiccups than resort to AI. Also, I was emailed a violation of TOS, so took my tweet down. There wasn't any clarification in the email, but since I haven't used Skeb in almost a year, I assumed it was because of it. Again, so I don't know if that means that the post itself, or no, she took the tweet down because of the violation of TOS, apparently. I don't know. But again, obviously that was the reason apparently she took that tweet down. As they say, me when I lie, said post my replies, dog. Obviously, yeah, people have been pointing out these replies from, you know, Bao. People saying, I actually do, no, they said if you use VGen, there is TOS an option actually saying if they're allowed to post. It says, I actually do not use VGen. That is pretty cool. They said, I hate Skeb with a burning passion. I just don't think I have it in me to trust another similar platform. Which obviously, yeah, it's pretty crazy. They keep on going on. Obviously, this is another one of the replies saying, me when I lie. She says, post my replies, dog. Which again, I'm unsure on exactly what she means by that, but again, I don't know. Like, we see the reply. That's the reply. They said, I hate Skeb with a burning passion. I guess it's because they kind of altered it. I'm unsure, but obviously we can't even see like the actual original post anyways, because it is deleted. So it would be kind of interesting to see if that was the case, because again, this is in response to her own post, the deleted one, whereas this one is in response to someone in the replies of her deleted one. So I don't have a link to the other kind of reply, but again, obviously, apparently there's some more context behind that. I don't know. Obviously, as well, we got this one here saying it is usually ignored due to Skeb's policies. Not sure why they even give the option. So yeah. And then obviously as well, it said, yeah, it's up to the artist if they want to accept the client's wishes, sadly. So again, they're saying sadly, I feel like it is totally the artist's choice, whether, you know, they want to kind of respect that kind of stuff. Again, I think a lot of people have very mixed opinions on this, so, you know, I don't really know at the end of the day, but it is definitely interesting to see a lot of these kind of replies coming out. Obviously, a lot of other people replying saying, I saw it and just thought it was you having a moment of frustration. I'm sorry, it left your bubble and just became another reason to criticize you, which again, I'm not very sorry about that. I feel like if you're posting on Twitter, expect it to kind of blow up, especially if you're involved in a controversy already. I mean, I don't think, you know, there's something to be sorry about. Of course, like, sure, if she didn't mean for it to go out of the space, but again, like, it's like you could have just kept that maybe in a private like chat or something. I don't know. They said I don't get it. If that's the reason why I mentioned Skeb in a follow-up comment, specifically I hate Skeb. People were complaining in the replies about Skeb, and I had a similar feeling. That's really as deep as it went. But again, you still mentioned Skeb. I don't know. At this point, guy, you could say I like cats and people are going to scream at you. Said I used to get 3k likes and maybe 20 repeats. I don't get why this keeps happening. And again, it's because she's involved in controversy. This is how Twitter works. You know, they're constantly obviously going to, you know, highlight accounts that are doing well, and obviously, yeah, if there's more controversial kind of things that people dislike, well, you know, more people are going to comment on it, and it's going to keep pushing your posts. So yeah, obviously a lot of people again voicing their opinions on it, saying more deflection. Skeb's TOS basically shoves it in your face 4 times before you make a request. That I never claim anything. I was just different conversations about different sources of art commissions and how the option for NDA/private commissions are sometimes not there or offered. It was not meant to be a blanket statement about Skeb. But again, I think you can kind of see with a lot of the comments about Skeb, whether it was in response to people in the replies or not, I think you can see why Skeb responded to it and why this has become such a big thing. It's because of the constant kind of bringing up of the name alongside this, right? If you had said no one, then sure, I don't think there would be as many people bringing them up. But again, obviously you did. And that's how it kind of ended up, right? And, you know, I'm not saying that you're trying to be malicious to Skeb or anything, or that she's trying to be malicious to Skeb or anything, right? But at the same time, you know, I think you just need to think a little bit before obviously uploading on Twitter and kind of, yeah, talking on Twitter, because obviously this is the kind of stuff that it lands you in. But yeah, that was kind of a response to everything that was going on. Obviously, I said in the video, she hasn't responded. She has now responded. With this. People have been talking about this over on virtual YouTubers as well, saying likely because of Bao's post complaining about Skeb, Skeb posted a reminder of what their service is on X. And I believe this is related to the recent event where Bao complaining about Skeb's artist posting a commission despite the fact that the artist has full ownership of the artwork because of Skeb's TOS. They say, is this Bao's I hate you Skeb, an artist, please ask permission before publicly posting finished tweets? I think those were deleted. But according to the comments here, that's exactly what this is about. It said, yeah, and it's the only hate Skeb one was deleted. It says both were deleted. You can check here. The parent post she made is deleted. So yeah, obviously a lot of people have been talking about this. I think, yeah, the original post is now gone. So yeah, I think obviously they have 100% kind of, I guess, you know, revealed the Bao that, hey, it is in the TOS and you're kind of arguing over nothing here because you agreed to this. Obviously, this person says, I usually ask before posting, but sometimes unless the client specifically says not to share the final piece, I just assume it's okay. I never want to ruin any surprises though, but it's absolutely a two-way street. I'm very careful to bring it up when the project comes to a close, but sometimes my messages slip by or is forgotten. And I think it's totally okay if you don't want them to reveal it before a big thing or something like that, right? But again, maybe don't do that on Skeb where their TOS literally has it within the TOS, right? It literally says that they're allowed to do what they want with it. Try doing it on Twitter or maybe VGen. I'm unsure on VGen's rules, but again, obviously there's many other commission places that you could go to that would probably allow you to keep things private. Some artists don't mind it. Some artists will be like, okay, yeah, sure. Like you got some big event coming up, you want it to keep it private, sure, that's totally fine, right? But don't do it on Skeb where they literally have, you know, multiple kind of rules saying you cannot do that, right? So again, I think that is obviously pretty obvious there. So deleting things is so much easier than owning up to your mistakes. Obviously, yeah, I don't think she has actually addressed it on her account yet about exactly what has happened. So again, people were pretty angry about that too. People saying so embarrassing is literally the first thing they tell you when you start writing a request to an artist. Say, but her whole point was she knows this. That's why she doesn't like it and doesn't use Skeb. That said, obviously her actual issue could be resolved with good communication when doing private comms. But the Skeb reply is so funny because yeah, that's literally what she was saying. So even funnier that she did exactly what you suggested here and it still failed, which is what the whole post was about. But no one reads posts anymore, I guess. She specifically mentioned that the same issue arises when direct DM commissions, where she asked for not posting until her project happens. Which, yeah, I can 100% see that if she's working on a private commission outside of Skeb, on Twitter or wherever, she decides to do commissions and she says, hey, don't share it, and they do share it, then yeah, 100% I can see where the problem is and where she would be upset about this kind of stuff. But again, obviously, when it comes to Skeb, they have those rules, and that's exactly what goes on, right? So this is what everyone seems to not get. You can't use Skeb or direct DMs for anything you want to keep it a surprise. You have to go bigger named individuals, and often if you're a big name yourself, push for an NDA. It's sad, but immature and unprofessional artists give the rest a bad look. And more for those unprofessional artists getting hit with their name dragged out in public. The behavior pushes clients to use only the well-known artists that have long track records, and I fully understand why. And obviously, yeah, they said Skeb doesn't allow it. Please consider these other ones, which obviously says, yeah, Fiverr, VGen, Schema. So they're even promoting other commission platforms as well, being like, if you want that kind of stuff, that's totally fine. Just go over to these other places, which is quite rare for like a company that is obviously, they're technically competing with these other places, right? But they're still, offering it because, they don't offer services that, where the creator cannot share it themselves, right? So given the vibes of so, we're selling pizza here. If you want a burger, there's a store right here that sells this one, which, yeah, is 100% true. So again, the same POV, you're looking at the user agreement terms. As an artist, artists retain the copyright of their work as a default, regardless of using Skeb or not. And again, as I said, that is true. But as I said, you can also work out your own kind of terms with them if you're doing it in private or whatever. Again, if you're doing a private commission, you can kind of go wild on, whatever you want in terms of clauses and, keeping stuff private or whatever. Again, you can sort that out with the artists themselves. And, 9 times out of 10, they'll be fine with it. Maybe sometimes they won't, and you just don't work with them, right? And, I know many people were saying, like, the tweet originally was her saying, hey, this is why I don't use Skeb and things like that. But that's also fine too. You don't need to use Skeb, and I don't think you really need to make a post about it unless obviously you are discussing artists in the private kind of terms of things that maybe are doing this kind of stuff. But even then, if you don't make it clear, if you don't tell them, hey, I don't want this to be shared, then 9 times out of 10 they might share it, because usually with stuff like Skeb, it's okay to do, and they usually hold the kind of copyright to do with it. So again, I think it is just based on communication and communication issues. I think if you make it very clear that, hey, I don't want this to be shared with a private artist, then I'm pretty sure they would be pretty happy to oblige with that. But if you don't communicate that in the first place, well, yeah, your art might get shared, which obviously is just something that happens. I say your art, it's kind of their art, but again, you get what I mean. But this is the kind of, backlash that she's been getting lately. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys because, again, it has been blowing up on Twitter lately. And yeah, it's just another pretty embarrassing moment for Bao there in terms of, a string of tweets which haven't been going very good at the moment. And yeah, it's just not looking very good for her. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.